Have you ever heard of somebody who abducts little boys?
Room below's got some horrible smells.
We don't want to go in there. What are you doing?
Complimentary room service. Here is that.
Hello and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we are the Newly Dads. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you for joining us. We are a half-hour chat show where Mr. Newly Dad and I talk about a movie that we've watched. If this is not your first time, welcome back. If you are listening to this, because we also turn this into a podcast, you can find that usually on Spotify. And we record this as a live show, so we highly recommend that you find us if you are listening to it, because Mr. Newly Dad does a lot of editing and a lot of fun little effects. So you can find us at thenewlydads.com to find all the links to any place you can find this show, along with other fun goodies, like Mr. Newly Dad does a blog post usually every Sunday. He does a lot of reviews for movies and different things of that nature. I occasionally will do blog posts. It's been a hot minute. I kind of ran out of some people that I was doing interviews, I guess is what you could call it, with. But I highly recommend that if you are interested in having me interview you, you can email me if you're an artist, author, whatever you do, like crochetist. Anyways.
Any kind of small business.
Any kind of small business. I'm happy to review you and promote your business. So it's free of charge. So please contact me at contact@thenewlydads.com. That being said, like I said in the beginning of the show, this is a half-hour chat show where we discuss a movie that we've watched. And we have some criteria for that movie. So the movie needs to be under $5. It needs to be a horror, thriller, or sci-fi genre movie. And it needs to be a movie that neither of us have ever seen before. And this week, we watched a little movie called Plasterhead. True evil has no face. But it does have a tongue.
It does have a, yeah.
It looks like it was the official selection at the Atlanta Horror Film Festival, and also the official selection at Evil City Film Festival. I'm not sure where that is at. Where is Evil City? I don't know.
Located near Badtown.
Naughty Town. So yeah. What do you think? You think I should read the synopsis?
Let's do the synopsis.
Let's do it. Headed to Miami to celebrate winter break, 4 college students from New Jersey take a tour into the bowels of rural West Virginia. There, the unwitting friends uncover a grotesque legend that stains the fabric of a sleepy backwoods town, the legend of truck driver Ray Williams. Brutally beaten by a band of locals after stopping off in a town for a drink, his body was left for dead in an empty cornfield and never found. They have a name for Williams now, Plasterhead. As these teens will soon learn, true evil has no face. They are using the term teens very loosely.
Pretty sure one of those girls is pretty close to
probably AARP. I don't know if she's AARP, but she's definitely in her 30s.
Yep. I would say
for sure in her 30s.
That's a realistic estimation.
Yes. So yeah, that's the synopsis there for
Plasterhead.
Surprised
there's no theme song.
I do like the cover of Plasterhead. It's pretty creepy looking. You probably pop it up there, right?
Oh yeah, and that's how they get you. The covers. Got to be very careful, like Motorhome Massacre.
The covers. No. Yeah, Motorhome Massacre was nothing
like the cover.
Yeah.
That's a little closer, but it's still not accurate in my opinion. But
yeah.
I have thoughts. You have thoughts. We have thoughts.
There's some thoughts. So should we watch the trailer?
Yeah, what's it like this week?
Let's make it I don't know, like a RV. They weren't really, were they in a motorhome?
No, they were driving like a SUV, like a Ford Bronco something or another,
All right.
Explorer, I don't know.
Yeah, make it like a travel vehicle because they were traveling
They were traveling.
across the plains of
You going traveling?
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Not really a plains, but
Mountain Mama. Take me home, plaster head.
Plasterhead. All right, so beep beep. All right, we're gonna pause it. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Ghost stories. That's all it is. Kids like to go up there and fuck around, scare the shit out of each other.
Your sorry ass wouldn't be caught dead up there after dark.
I got no reason to be up there. I got a wife and kid. I ain't fucking around with no legend.
You want to be out here after dusk. Crazy things happen out here after dusk.
Orange was cool. Where could she be? Huh, David? She didn't have a car. She would just walk away.
Hi.
David! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
We are back and ready to roll. Mr. Newly Dead has some notes.
I do.
Go for it, sir.
So whenever we watch a film, I will take notes, and that will give us a general guideline as far as where our discussion will go when we're talking about the movie we just watched. This year, Mrs. Newly Dead has made a commitment to take notes on every film, and so far, she's at 100%.
I am, even if I get sleepy.
Even if she gets sleepy. We'll get to that. But during the course of this, I take my notes digitally, I print them out, I draw pictures, I'll give you the insight. So if you'd like to know what's on these notes, if you can't see them, then Mrs. Newly Dead puts them together into a flip book, and at the end of the year, you can go check them out on our aforementioned website. 2023 is available currently, as well as 2024. And at the end of this year, 2025, including this note right here, will be on the site. I'm still hoping she'll put hers up, but we'll see.
We'll see.
So at this point, I'm going to show her my notes. There's not a lot to look at.
Plasterhead. He
I
looks
don't
like a
know.
mummy.
It's kind of a mummy, but I just kind of like the way he's kind of like
Hey, you did a good job.
he's kind of like graphic.
Lots of line work. Yeah, good job.
And I
He's
still had
exploding.
time for lots of notes.
No, you have a lot of notes.
A lot of notes. Did you draw anything?
I did. I also drew Plasterhead, and it says, I'm Plasterhead.
He's going
Yeah,
because he was doing a tongue thing at the very beginning
Yeah,
before he put on his plaster.
creepy. I also drew Plasterhead, or, wrote Plasterhead really big.
She always likes to write it out all fancy like
I try.
fancy-ish.
Fancy.
So Plasterhead is from 2006, currently sitting at 3.5 out of 10 on the Internet Movie Database.
Curious.
Lots of friends. This was written and directed by Kevin Higgins. This is his only.
Oh, one and done.
Yep. I don't know what happened to Mr. Higgins. I don't know
Big and toot.
if he just hasn't ever had another idea, if he hasn't made any other movies, or something happened to him. Hopefully it did not. But I don't know. That was it. So stars. Catherine Mary is in this. That's Mary is in Merry Christmas. Who was in The Creek, The Cult of Sincerity, which sounds like an interesting choice for a film. Trust, Greed, Bullets, and Bourbon. And she was in at least one episode, I'm not sure how many, I didn't check, of a show that you always seem to bring up, Orange is the New Black.
Was she?
I don't remember which character she was in, and I think she was the main woman in the film, the main.
The one that we thought was in her
protagonist.
30s.
No, she's the one that got killed early. It was the one that
Yeah.
made it all the way to the end.
Oh yeah,
In the
Yeah,
vest,
the-
looking very 2000s.
the one that was dating the other guy.
This also stars Ernest Dancy, who was in Knuckle Game.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So like one of these, like
Oh, I was thinking something else, but maybe.
oh,
He was in something familiar called with. Zombieland, not to be confused with Monsters in the Woods,
mm-hmm.
and something just called Prime, and it's not about Amazon. It's from 2005. I wrote that down just to make sure you knew it wasn't that. This also stars Rain Brown, which I think is the older woman, who was in a movie called Kung Fu and Titties. Not even a joke. That's the name of the movie. Chickenpox.
All right.
Got quite the resume. Aunt Rose. Not to be confused with Rose Red, I assume. And something called Psycho Street, which is a street where you probably don't want to live. Sounds like where
Or you do.
Joaquin Phoenix lived in Beau is Afraid.
Oh yeah.
Psycho Street.
Oh my God. Have you ever watched that? Nutso.
That was very uncomfortable. Also stars Gerard Adamando, who was in Sex, Blood, and Fairy Tales. Bologna and Lettuce.
Okay.
The Milano Effect, not as in Alyssa Milano, I don't think, maybe. And something called Lyco, which I assume is as in lycanthrope.
Oh.
I guess. Like
Oh,
it's a
it's like-
werewolf kind of thing.
I like you.
Yeah, no, like
I hate you.
an Adam Sandler line. LYCO. And finally, Kevin Cannon, who was in Alien versus Zombies. Sounds like something we need to watch.
Yeah.
Cop Out, the only film that Kevin Smith has directed that he didn't write, as far as I'm aware.
Oh.
Chapter 27, the Jared Leto, Mark David Chapman film about the assassination of John Lennon. And The Newlyweds.
No.
I had to put that in because
It's like the Newlyweds, but gardening.
I don't think that's gardening. I mean, there's probably gardening involved, maybe more hydroponics. But
We should change our name to the Newlyweds.
no, then we'll get a totally different crowd watching our show.
Gardeners.
No. Lots of seeds.
I don't know what you're
and-
talking about,
and
sir.
stems. All right. So at this point, my wife turns to me and says,
What'd you think?
the Newlyweds. So I have to say, first and foremost, plaster is very impractical as a mask choice. I mean, I
Mm.
guess you could easily repair it, but it also, like, if it rains out or something, it's
It's
just gonna-
crumbly and it's stiff.
Yeah, it's not very.
Yeah.
forgiving. It's
You
like-
don't want like it's like having a cast on your face.
Yeah, or having like one of those plastic Halloween masks when we were kids with the rubber band. Like, I don't even know how it sticks to his face because
He showed it in the beginning when he was doing that thing
Well,
or whatever.
he's like making it, like you see him taking the plaster strips and he's like, "What?" But when you see him later on, he's got a head like mine, he's bald, and the mask is
Right.
sitting on his face, but there's no like a way to attach it. I don't know
Yeah.
how it's attached.
It's just like a helmet.
Like, probably why he's doing this. It's because
Yeah.
he's licking the inside of it and just sticking it to his face. Maybe
Ew.
that's why his face is all mangled. I don't know.
Ew.
Also, I asked why there was Polaroids, and what I mean in that, in the very beginning, there's a murder that takes place right off the get-go, and the girl like has a Polaroid camera, and she like takes a shot of herself, and then she's like waits till he comes down, and she kind of uses it as a weapon, I guess. I don't know. I think she was just trying to get a photo of him in case
Mhm.
somebody found the photo. But if you're gone, and he's like, "Oh, look, there's a photo," he's like, "Wave it on the Polaroid picture," and then he's like, "Oh, that's me," and then he's could have
Murder.
been. But they find the photos later. I don't know. There's a question as far as how many years have passed because there was a lot of inconsistencies in this film. I wrote here that the acting is very plastery, which I think is maybe why they called it Plasterhead, perhaps.
Maybe.
I also had to comment on the gas station attendant, Artie.
Yes. I wrote down, oh, Artie, he ain't got no gas.
Yep, I wrote Artie ain't got no gas. Because he reminds me of another film that we watched that I kind of, The Lake House 3.
Yes.
Remember the guy that was sitting at the gas
Yes.
station? Him and this guy would have been friends, I think, in real life.
Or maybe they would have fought.
Ooh,
Mm.
like a street
Like-
fighter kind of thing.
Maybe like one's got a gas station across the other street and they're just like throwing stuff at each other.
And-
And one guy's like, I got gas. And he's like, I ain't got gas.
he's chewing on a cigar the whole time, and he's really like,
He made Isaiah laugh, which was funny.
yeah, his speech was just weird. He's just like, ain't got no gas. He's kind
Yeah.
of doing the sling blade thing. I don't know what's going on. Like
It was weird.
Like he's Carl.
Yeah. He tried licking that guy's hand
Yeah, he's like, let me see your hand. You can tell a man by his
by
hands.
his hands. Yeah.
And he's like,
Yep. And then
What-
he's like,
yeah, he had a good old time. Which I don't know what the accent was about, but
it was
was-
weird.
was he the guy that had the New York Cajun accent?
Yeah.
Yeah, or like, yeah, I wrote New York Cajun because he's got this kind of Brooklyn thing going on, but he's like, hey, woo wee, don't you know? It's
Yeah.
this weird. Kind
Yeah. It just didn't match.
it didn't. I'm sure there's people that are,
It was weird
that are
though.
like that, but
Like he was trying to be. It sounded like he was trying to be like Southern, but like
he had never met a Southern.
didn't
person
have a
before.
Southern accent.
Yeah.
It was just like like he was from New Jersey. Like that's where they, were coming from.
Yeah.
It's odd.
So it starts out after the person gets killed. The 4 people are in their car and they're going to Florida, was it?
Yeah.
For the
South
winter
Beach.
break. And they stop to because they're about out of gas. They stop in this little town because they find this bag on the side of the road, and the one girl is insistent that they have to return it, which is the right thing to do. But
There's a bunch of money in it.
$500 in there. There's the old Polaroids that are all kind of burned up, and there's like
Pills,
pills. Yep, there's a old notebook with a bunch of like weird scribbled notes and
addresses,
stuff.
and yeah.
Yeah, she wrote her at-home address in there for some reason. And so they go to this small town, and there's no gas there. They say the nearest gas station is like 50 miles, which is very impractical for a small town.
Mm,
Even the smallest of towns has at least one gas station that's functional.
yeah.
Because you're not going to drive, especially if it's a farming community, you're not going to drive 50 miles to fill up your, combine.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's very weird. And when he's like, I'll get gas on Thursday, and the cop's like, he's never getting gas.
He never has gas.
I mean, he's probably got gas, but it's not the kind you can put in your car.
Yeah.
So they go out to the house finally because they find out that this town has changed the name, and there's a whole like curse and a bad that happened. Pardon me. Things that happen. I'll have to bleep that out.
Yeah.
And so they eventually figure out where the house is, and instead of like going to get gas, they drive up this mountain road that's probably 10 miles up the road. I don't know. It's a bit of a hike to go to this house that's apparently they say has been abandoned for like 10 years. This is the nicest, cleanest house I've seen. Like it looked like it was ready to be shown for sale.
Yeah.
No dust anywhere. Like the girl's like running her finger across the thing, and she's like, "Yeah, and there's no dust on it."
There was no dust. Like the floors were clean.
It was impeccable.
Yeah. The front door was like shiny.
It looked like it was a brand new door. It was all cleaned and Windexed and all that stuff. And they go inside, and they tried to make it look kind of old because there's like old books, and there's like an old like tube TV that's like a 24-inch tube television with the rabbit ears, and like the furniture's all like looks real secondhand, but the floor and everything else is like brand new.
She opens that drawer and there's those dead animals in it, and it's like they're like brand new dead animals because it's like bright red blood on it.
And it's like it looks like a fur hat that they spilled some ketchup on.
Yeah, or paint.
Or paint. Yeah, like it's all like Dawn of the Dead level of paint.
Yeah.
And so the two are like, well, let's go back into town.
Well, the sheriff shows up.
Oh, right. The sheriff shows up, and he's strange, has a weird accent.
And they answer the door.
Yeah,
Why would you break into a house, essentially,
literally, they just broke.
and then someone's knocking on the door, and they're like, well, we should go answer it.
Why not?
So dumb.
And then they pretend that they're related to the owner of the house, which the cop knows better. It's a small town. It's
Right.
not like you're in Chicago, and they're like, oh, okay, sure. So after the cop leaves, they go. Two of them, the main two, go back into town.
Yeah.
And they're still haven't gotten gas, by the way, and it was already on E. So I don't know, probably 30 miles left in the tank, and they're wasting it driving back and forth. And the other two stay in the house, and the one girl's like, I feel so dirty, I'm going to take a shower.
Yeah. In a house you don't live in.
Don't know if there's towels. It's been abandoned for 10 years. You don't know if the pipes work.
Yeah, and like who knows if the towels are moldy or whatever.
If there's like
There's soap. Is there soap? Yeah.
and then the shower, which you think, oh, okay, a reason for them to throw in a little. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, that's not even there.
Nope.
So there was no point to it at all other than for her to get killed and the guy downstairs to put on his headphones and listen to the only song in the movie that is decent and fall asleep so he doesn't hear her getting killed.
Yeah.
And then, he gets confused and like, where'd she go? And so he's looking around for her. Meanwhile, the killer has left the house where the guy was completely vulnerable, prone to be killed. The killer leaves and goes back into town to like go look for other victims or something. It was very strange. And when the cop comes into the diner where the two had come to get all the backstory exposition, he's like, I'll just take, my regular. And she's like, a double omelet with mashed potatoes and something. I'm like, oh, it's
yuck.
omelet with
It's a
mashed
double
potatoes.
omelet?
Yeah. With a side of mashed potatoes. Then the two go to a bar. They're just like hanging around in town. The bar looks like somebody's living room. It's really, which is, it's cool if that's your aesthetic, but
I've been in bars that are like that.
but it's like,
Like an old house.
like one strip and there's no like, there's maybe a bathroom, but there's no like there's just like this little strip.
Yeah.
And
Weird.
that's it's a little weird, but I guess, I've been to bars where it's designed to look kind of like, cozy living room, but I think this was not a choice. The only place they could go. And then a bunch of stuff happens. I don't know that we need to spoil it. I don't know, we might end up spoiling it when we get to it, but it just, characters make dumb decisions. Plasterhead is not scary. It feels like it's super low budget. Like, I mean, they could have done so much more with this. And the cover is very misleading because he does not really look like that. It looks kind of like a full moon feature. But it is definitely not. And speaking of characters, Plasterhead is this big guy. He's got coveralls, kind of like Michael Myers, but his shoes are brand new, like crystal clean, brand new shoes. And I'm like, okay, again, why wouldn't you dirty him up a little? He's this guy that's living in this old house that's been abandoned for 10 years because he killed the owner, and the cop's not messing around with him. He's like, I just let him be, because the cop's the one who killed him. No spoiler there. That's given away in the exposition. But meanwhile, during all of this happening, what happened to you?
Oh, well, we started watching it at 9:20 in the evening.
A little late.
And I whenever I start to get tired, sometimes I'll write down when I got sleepy. So I got sleepy at 9:57.
She wrote that down.
Yeah, I was like, 37 minutes in. And then I fell asleep. And I kept dozing on and off the rest of the movie.
But she missed a large chunk
I
of
missed
the
a
film.
large chunk.
She didn't miss much, to be honest, because, this whole thing was because they found the $500, and one of them insisted on just taking it with them. One was like, just leave it. And the other one's like, let's return it. There's nothing special about the effects that they have in it. There's this constant drony background noise. It's kind of this high-pitched, weird kind of thing that's going on. Never stops. It's really just a poor choice. The main girl gets stabbed in the side towards the end. And apparently if you get stabbed, just a little bit right here, she suddenly couldn't walk. And she passes out and wakes up the next morning. And Plasterhead is inside dealing with one of the other guys that's been injured. And apparently it's been like, I don't know, 3, 4, 6 hours. I don't know. It's been a while because it was night when she went outside crawling to the car. And when she woke up, it was bright as day out. So it wasn't like it was just dawn or anything. And the guy, apparently Plasterhead's really slow with what he does inside. And so then the ending, which I guess, spoilers, whatever. It just kind of like, she gets in the car, she's going to leave. She runs over one of the other characters that was kidnapped that she thought was dead already. She didn't really check. She just kind of was like, whatever, I guess he's gone. He's laying on the side of the road. He's still breathing. Nobody's trying to hide the fact that he's supposed to be dead, I think. Whenever these characters are supposed to be dead, they're still breathing. Which it's a small continuity thing you can fix. But she's like, I'm just going to drive away. I'm not going to check on him. Plasterhead's not anywhere in sight. She just leaves him and drives off, and that's the end of the movie.
Dick move.
Totally. Then there's an alternate ending on this disc, which we watched. And in the alternate ending, she's in the basement. She's got a gun. She's taking it from the cop, which the cop tried to stab her after she tried to take his keys to his car. Like, why? he's near death. Why is he going to try and hide the fact that he's covering up this murder? Still, like he's going to be dead soon,
Right.
but he still insists on he's got to help Plasterhead kill her for some unknown reason. She's got a gun. She's in the basement, and Plasterhead grabs her by the foot and drags her into the basement, and that's the end. She had a gun. She literally had a gun in her hand, and she could have put it up and shot him. And it's just weird choices that I
Silly.
don't understand. The only thing that was kind of enjoyable was during the credits, there was a band called Edgar Allan Flo, but I thought it said Edgar Allan Joe, and I thought that would be a great name for a gothabilly band. But Edgar Allan Joe is actually, there's a coffee company called Edgar Allan Joe. So, little fun fact, Edgar Allan Joe, good job naming your coffee.
That is a fun fact.
I just realized I forgot to write my final thoughts.
Oh, I have one.
I'll think about it while you're saying yours.
My final thoughts are, with a story that doesn't make much sense, Plasterhead is silly in a bad way.
Oh, that's true. I'm just going to say Plasterhead, more like Dumbhead.
And then out of...
And I feel bad for the guy. Like the storyline of the guy, the Plasterhead character, is tragic. And they could have done so much more with that. They just kind of threw it away because it was a horrific way for somebody to die, and he had no reason to get killed. But anyway, no wonder he's taking vengeance on the town. But he only kills people that go up to the house, apparently, because he could have killed the whole town, but he didn't. Or the sheriff.
It's weird.
Who's the one who killed him? Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So rating out of 5 satchels.
Oh,
That's kind of like is that impetus? Is that the word?
the impetus for the whole
Mhm.
plot. Yeah, the 500. They find $500, and they choose
They
to
try
do
to
the right
find the
thing.
person, right?
And by doing the right thing,
They get killed.
pretty much everybody dies. So out of 5 satchels, not the band, an actual satchel, I ended up giving it a big fat 0. I didn't give it a negative because I understood what he was trying to do with this, but I didn't enjoy it at all, and I don't need to ever see it again.
I also gave it a 0.
So sorry, goose eggs,
And I fell asleep.
big fat goose egg.
And sleepy.
Sad and Sleepy. That's the name of our next movie we're watching next week.
No.
It's not.
All right. So if we don't want to watch this movie,
Are you gonna blow it up? Or are you gonna let it?
let's blow her up.
Gonna let it live?
Bye, Plasterhead.
Wow, violent.
I didn't want to hurt the dog.
Yeah, Shaggy's right there licking the tripod in case it moved.
What do you want to watch?
So instead of this, I felt like I had a different recommendation, but I've already recommended it, which was Malevolence, which is on the shelf. Very similar in tone, but much better done. Stephen Mina, good job. But anyway, I instead went with 1992's Candyman because it played in with the same kind of storyline in a much bigger and better way. Like Candyman is probably in my top, 25 films of horror films of all time. And rest in peace, Tony Todd. I almost said it again. Wow, I'm cursy tonight. Anyway, so yeah, Candyman is very similar in the plot line and kind of what they're going for, but yeah.
All right. What are we watching next week?
Apparently me swearing up a storm. Next week we are watching the 3rd film in this and finally finishing this set.
Oh, Salvage. That's the
That's the first one we watched.
the name of the
Then we watched
disc. So yeah, we watched Mortuary.
Yep.
And now we're
Salvage.
watching Memory.
Now we're watching Memory from 2006.
All right. So when Dr. Taylor Briggs is exposed to a mysterious drug while lecturing in Brazil, he is forced to relive the dark, twisted memories of a killer.
Oh.
Embarking upon a lone journey to unlock the mystery of a past that is not his own, Taylor must find a killer whose horrifying work may not be over. And oh my gosh, the people that are in it.
Yep. There's some names in this film. So get ready, kids.
Oh, there were some names in Mortuary too.
Yeah, Mortuary was at least
Dan Bird,
sort of fun.
Toby Hooper
But this one
directed.
is got some other names in it.
This has got some names, man. Some
But
weird names.
we're finally finishing the
It's
salvage
a
set.
weird bunch of people.
Yep. So 3 movies and done. We can finally get that one into the box.
I'm excited for you to find out who the weird people are
But you'll find out
next
week.
week.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so Memory.
Memory.
All right. Well, thank you very much for watching as always. Hopefully you will check us out again at thenewlydads.com. That's right, throwing it in there again. And until next week,
Keep it cheap and creepy.
bye.
Doesn't mean you go chasing the dead.
It may be your robot, but it's my house.
I want to get a close look at these sharks.
Sounds dangerous.
Well, I'll be careful.
Sherman Hill Road. Yeah, I know Sherman Hill Road. But it ain't in Ellis.
Okay. Thank you.
Come closer to Artie.
Excuse me? What?